Hello and welcome to my weather forecast. In this video, I will be talking to you about the longer range weather pattern for late spring and summer, and also talking to you about the severe weather potential going into the late spring and summer as well. Right now, this is a kind of a more of a climate model here, and this is showing the upper level pattern across much of the United States. This is for March, as we have seen kind of more of an amplified pattern across the southeast, and kind of more here of a trough type of pattern here for the western United States, and that has held true for much of the first couple weeks of March, and that has allowed a few storm systems to kind of dive to the south and east here, and then kind of ride along that jet stream here up into the upper Midwest and into the mid Atlantic and Ohio Valley regions. And that's also why we've seen some heavier rainfall across portions here of Tennessee, Kentucky, getting down into Arkansas, and a couple severe weather episodes here as well in the deep south, because as the storm systems move here to the southeast and kind of move back northward with the ridge here in the east, you can see here a lot of cooler air pushing with cold fronts to the southeast here through Texas, Louisiana, into the southeast here across the first couple weeks of March, and then kind of the atmosphere reloads after that here, and the same type of pattern is being recognized here, and really as we head into later this week into next week as well. So that pattern will be recognized at that time. Now, as we head into portions here of April, the pattern is going to kind of change a little, just a little bit. The pattern is going to become more, I think, zonal here, kind of more of a Pacific pattern here. I think overall, yes, we can still have amplified patterns that are a little bit more extreme than others, but I think the pattern will be more here zonal across the central United States. Some cooler air being locked up here into the northwest and then the northeast, and then you can see some warmer air across the south here into the Tennessee and Ohio valleys, the southern plains, the southeast, and even the southwest, where the ongoing drought will still be here taking place and actually expanding the drought here into New Mexico, Texas, Colorado, maybe even the panhandle of Oklahoma. So that is unfortunate for those areas here that cannot get a break from the drought. But regarding the storm track here, it's more zonal. We could have some severe weather here still growing across the south here into the southeast. Probably here some warmer air with 70s, maybe some 80s getting up here into Texas, Oklahoma, portions here of Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, much of the southeast kind of in those 80s, I think, and as we head towards April, especially late April. And that will set the stage for more severe weather across those areas. Not that severe weather cannot here move up into the Missouri area, into Illinois, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska, and Indiana, and all those areas. I think the higher chances of severe weather across much of April will probably be around the south and southeast, kind of more influenced by the La Nina type pattern. But I think there will be kind of a secondary area of severe weather here on the northern fringe due to some of the colder air trying to sneak in, especially if we get a more amplified pattern. And this could be here deal with, the damaging wind events, stuff like that. Nothing too major, but I think the more tornadic activity will still be in the south across much of April. Now, as we head into May, the pattern still the same, a little bit of an amplified pattern across the, sometimes across the eastern 2/3 of the country, but I think more still of a zonal or maybe even a little bit of a northwest pattern could develop with some cooler air up to the north here, the northeast kind of below average here, at least as it comes to climatology, that time frame and how the pattern's being recognized. And then kind of some warmer air here across the southwest, still that ongoing drought, and then the southeast, here's some warmer air. I think the southeast will start getting a little drier than normal as we head towards May. You'll still see some heavier thunderstorms, some severe weather potential, and the daily rainfall, but I think the drier weather will kind of more persist through May across the deep south, and I think the severe weather may start to migrate northward, kind of in the areas that I'm circling here. We'll have the best chance of severe weather from probably about South Dakota, portions of eastern Nebraska, getting into much of Iowa, southern Minnesota, southern central Wisconsin, much of Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio. I think the severe weather will start to migrate more northward in May. Do have to watch for the tornado chances here as we head into May, because a lot of times you can get an amplified pattern with the cool air coming down to the north and west. A lot of your moving parts with this, a lot of wind changing speed and shifting with height. So you got to definitely watch that, especially with these warm frontal boundaries as we head into the May time period. Now, looking ahead at the early summer months here, the June month here for summer, you can see the pattern is going to change yet again, more amplified, kind of zonal at times, but a high pressure system could develop here as we head in toward especially the middle and end of June, and this could here develop across the southeast. A lot of warm air and a lot of warm air in the southwest, some cooler air in the northwest and into the far northern plains, and then the rest of the country kind of near average or slightly above average with temperatures in respect to how warm it will be in June. The pattern recognition here, a little muddy, amplified pattern, zonal pattern, and sometimes you can get a high pressure to set up here in the southeast, and then kind of storms can kind of ride around that high pressure, and do have to watch this pattern, especially as we head into summer again this year for derechos, or strong convective lines of windstorms, really here as they kind of ride along that surface gradient around the high pressure, and then you have low pressure coming in. So do have to watch that as we head into the summer, especially depending on how hot this high pressure gets as we head into June. Now, July, this is the pattern that is really starting here to take shape as a kind of a classic derecho pattern, where you got a high pressure across the south and southeast, and then storms kind of ride around that bubble of hot air in July, and it's a lot of heat in the southwest as well. So it kind of gets condensed. So these areas like from New Mexico to Colorado and to Nebraska, and kind of moving around through Wisconsin, you got to really watch those. And as these high pressure systems kind of break down in July, you got to watch all that storm energy and a lot of that stuff here for derechos or strong, widespread wind events here that could occur as we head into July as well. And I will take a sneak peek into August here, one more month, and the same type of pattern is kind of holding true. You got some cooler air here up in the far northwest. The southwestern warmer air kind of backing off a bit, but still some very hot, air across the southwest. Continued drought, high pressure kind of locked in place across the southern plains and portions here of the southeast potentially, and then storms, like I said, will kind of ride around that gradient here, and potentially could develop a couple of derechos even into August as well. So the pattern is going to be there, I think, from late June through much of July, and then early to mid-August for derecho events that are possible across the country, really, across the northwestern and northern fringes here of these high pressure systems that can manage to develop in the summer months. So what does that mean in perspective of derechos? I don't think it's going to be, I'm not kind of forecasting how, like, the intensity of the derechos, like how strong or weak they will be, but just the climatology and kind of looking ahead at like the type of the weather patterns, that setups that could be kind of helpful for these to develop across the country. So I just wanted to give you a heads up here on that. Now, with respects to the precipitation outlook, or kind of the anomaly and the climatology on this. For March here, much of the northeast here in the mid-Atlantic and portions here of the Ohio Valley, yes, we've seen our fair share of rain. Yes, we've seen our fair share of snow and some drier weather here across the south. That's more due to thunderstorms here and there. And then as we head into April, the drier weather will persist across much of the central plains and portions of the south. Some thunderstorm activity as we head into the northern fringes here and then to the northeast. Maybe some snowfall still being found in the far northeastern, interior northeast regions here, and getting up into Canada. And then some thunderstorms, maybe some big severe weather potential here. I think April will be a very big month for severe weather and tornadoes across much of the country, so do be mindful of that. The tornado risk will definitely be increasing substantially, I think, across much of the country in April as the weather patterns become more amplified, zonal, and a lot of changes. The pattern will be more progressive through April, I do believe. And then as we head toward May, kind of the same thing. I think May will still be somewhat of an active month for severe weather and tornadoes. A lot of thunderstorm activity. I think some, zonal patterns, some amplified patterns with the storm track will be observed. And I think that the storm I mean, the storms that move through here will not all be severe, but they here will kind of lose their oomph a little bit. But I think the May will still be a big month for severe weather and tornadoes, I think, as well, but probably not as big as April, as the wind energy starts to calm down a little bit across the center of the country. And then into June, kind of your typical summer pattern here. The reason why it would be drier in the south and southeast could have some high pressure here developing, like I said, and that will kind of suppress any thunderstorm and shower activity, and they'll kind of move right around here that high pressure, as we'll have to watch for the starting season basically of the derechos here across the northern fringes of that high pressure. And then into July here, same type of thing. This pattern looks very recognized here, as you can see, drier or just normal here precipitation in the south, southeast, and the Tennessee Valley, and then a lot of warmer, humid air from that high pressure system riding around that. And you can see the pattern is definitely recognized here, where the storms kind of move up to the north and then kind of move eastward and around that high pressure, and that is a classic derecho type setup, so definitely have to watch that. And then even into August here, you can see a lot of rainfall being expected here, and this could be due to the breakdown of some of these patterns. Some heavier rainfall hopefully can get into the southwestern regions here and deliver some much needed rainfall to portions that are of the area here that are seeing the significant drought, and also to the areas of the southeast that might be drier than normal as we head into late summer as well. So that will be very welcome news. So that is that. And I also want to give you a detailed look somewhat at how much rainfall we're expecting through the rest of March and into early April. This is going through April 1st, and you can see this climate forecasting system model here is showing some heavier rainfall here centered around, eastern Kansas, central Missouri into southern and central Illinois, and then another kind of batch into the Gulf states. That's kind of due to round after round of heavy thunderstorms and severe weather down that way, and maybe even seeing some severe weather down here into the central plains here. Time after time, as well, especially as we get toward late March into early April. So a lot of heavier rain with that as well. Some heavier rain in the Pacific Northwest with storm systems coming in as well towards the April 1st. So dealing with that. And unfortunately for the Southwest here, some rain, but not a lot here, not enough to get out of that drought. So again, that drought will be persisting through the rest of March and probably much through of spring and into summer as well. Unfortunately here, I wish I had better news for that location here, but at least there'll be some rain potential across the Southwest, but not enough here. So I wish we had more for those areas that are just been in the drought for so long. But thank you for watching my video. Remember to subscribe to my channel, also like this video, and if you have any comments on anything here that I went over, I will definitely be available to answer those questions, any questions you have. And I'll also have a video here as we head into my afternoon update on the severe weather potential here as we head into today and then beyond here through the week. So I will have that video this afternoon. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you this afternoon. Thank you.